Hey everyone, Decob13 here, and welcome back to some more Let's Play Fate Stay Night. Alright. Came very close to falling apart at the end of the last episode, and I'm hitting my mic again. Feeling composed now, so I'm sure this isn't going to get any easier, because we only have 3 days left on this path. It's just like Unlimited Blade Works, this ends on 16. But I feel like these last couple days are going to be really freaking dense. So let's load up day 14. And again, I looked at the title on this one before I was able to get to the menu. And this one's called Servant Eater, I believe. So that's fantastic. Yep, Servant Eater. I wake up at the usual time. It isn't 6 o'clock yet. The dim sky is on the cusp of dawn, and covered in a gray blanket of clouds today. My left arm doesn't hurt. There's nobody in the living room. I should make breakfast before Tosaka wakes up. The news is on TV. It's become our habit to check the TV every morning.
特に目立った事件はないわね。昨夜は出てこなかったんでしょ。
She means the Black Shadow.
ああ、連日無休ってわけじゃなさそうだな。
I answered glibly to hide my relief.
そうね。100人単位の被害なんて2日続けて起きたらたまらないもの。
It's past 7 o'clock. Tosaka and I are the only ones in the living room. Sakura and Ilya are both still asleep. I wanted to go wake up Ilya, but Tosaka said to let her rest.
から、シロも今夜に備えて休んでおいて。
Tosaka suddenly says that.
それはどうして？
だから例の切り札の作成、なんとか今日中に骨組みができるから今夜投影を実行するわ。で、成功次第造剣と決着をつける。これ以上犠牲者は増やせない。あの影が何であれ、造剣を倒せば聖杯戦争は終わる。
Oh, if only you knew how untrue that
そうなっ
was,
たら消え
Rin.
るでしょ。
遠坂、聖杯戦争が終わればあの影は消えると思うのか？
消えるわ。あいつの正体が何であれ、あれが聖杯目的で現れているのは間違いない。聖杯を欲しがっているのか、それとも聖杯に呼ばれているのかはわからない。けど、どっちにしたって原因は聖杯なんだから、聖杯さえなくなれば影は消えるのよ。聖杯戦争が期限切れになるか、マスターが最後の一人になるか、それとも聖杯の器になるものが死んでしまえば、あの影は消え去るわ。
遠坂、お前。
Damn. She's known all along who the Shadow is, hasn't she?
今のはただの推測よ。造剣を倒してもあの影は消えないかもしれない。聖杯戦争が終わってもあの影は消えないかもしれない。だから今は一番確実な方法を取る。手に入るかどうかもわからない聖杯なんかには頼れない。私たちは私たちだけの力で造剣とあの影を倒さないといけない。
With that, Tosaka stands up. She takes the water pitcher and pajamas that I prepared for Sakura.
おい、何のつもりだよ、それ。
さくらの様子は私が見るわ。部屋も隣だし、あの子の看病は私の方が適任でしょ。
いや、さくらの看病は俺が。
バカ言わないで。シロ一睡もしてないでしょ。そんな体でいられちゃ私たちが困るってわからない？
What does she mean I haven't slept?
それこそバカ言うなよ。昨日はちゃんと眠ったぞ、俺。
呆れた。自覚がないほど参ってたわけ？まったく嘘だと思うなら鏡を見てきなさい。顔面蒼白で目にクマ作ってたら看病されるさくらだって気を使うわ。
それ本当か？
嘘言ってどうするってのよ。もういいからシローは部屋で休みなさい。夕方になったら呼びに行くから。眠れないなら手を貸してあげてもいいわよ。ライダーの真似事でいいなら丸一日前後不覚にしてあげられるけど。
What, you mean beat the shit out of him? She must be talking about riders. Oh, Mystic Eyes. But as far as I know, Tosaka doesn't have Mystic Eyes of her own. So she's saying...
それは俺に実験台になれってことか？
正解。今まで興味はなかったけど魔眼も悪くないかなって。
Oh boy.
さすがにあんな離れ技は無理だけど眠りの暗示ぐらいなら即興でできそうだなって。
嘘つけ。何が魔眼も悪くないかなだ。お前単にやられっぱなしじゃ気が済まないから練習したいだけだろ。
いいじゃない別に。それでどうするのよシロ。やるの？やらないの？
やるかバカ。そんな物騒な実験には付き合えないし、だいたい丸一日寝込んだら明日の朝まで起きられない。
ああそっか。うまくかかりすぎたら睡眠じゃなくて麻痺になるものね。シロ単純だからかかりやすそうだし。
Tosaka nods at her own logic. I want to argue, but I won't because she'll probably just ask, "So you wanna?"
まあそれほど神経質ってわけでもないし、その気になれば簡単に眠れる。心配されるほどじゃな。
そうならさくらの看病は私に任せてシロは部屋でおとなしくできる？
Tosaka does a 180 from her joking tone and fixes me with a serious gaze. I want to be at Sakura's side. I'd like to stay with her as much as I can, but there are things that need doing, and I shouldn't go see Sakura if I look as bad as Tosaka says I do. I can trust Tosaka to take good care of Sakura, so I'll accept her goodwill.
そうだな。じゃあ少し部屋に引っ込んでる。昼食と夕食は俺が持っていくから、それ以外は遠坂に甘えていいか？
ええ、さくらの看病は任せておいて。勝手に動き出そうものなら叱りつけて眠らせるから。で、そういうシロは本当に一人で眠れる？やっぱり一つ試してみる？
No. Coming from you, that's kind of ominous, Rin.
しつこいな。そういう危なっかしいのは却下だ。けどまあありがとうな遠坂。気を使わせて申し訳ない。
別に気なんか使ってないけど。それじゃあ私は行くから、シロもちゃんと眠りなさいよね。
Honestly. Sometimes I can't tell if she's perceptive or oblivious, if she's nice or cold. I've heard that naturally gifted people tend to leave others in the dust, and maybe that applies to her too. Sakura has it rough. If Tosaka was my big sister, I'd never feel at ease with myself.
まあそれ以上に毎日楽しいんだろうけど。
Yeah. That's why I want them to return to being sisters as much as possible. Once this war ends and the arrangement between the Tosakas and Matos goes away, Sakura and Tosaka can go back to being sisters. It won't be easy to overcome 11 years of separation. But I hope they can slowly close the distance and get along well enough to smile together without forcing themselves to. Oh, man. I'll do anything I can to help. I've thought this for a while, but this is the greatest gift we can give to Sakura.
ついでに遠坂もな。あいつに困った顔させられるのは今のところ桜ぐらいしかいないんだし。
Whoops. I catch myself imagining Tosaka's happy, smiling face. Sorry, Sakura. This counts as cheating, doesn't it?
いや、それはともかく。
I can't keep wasting time. Tosaka's going to challenge Zoken tonight. That's not good. If Zoken goes down, the war will end. If the war ends, the Holy Grail will appear. To be more precise, it will open. Zoken said the Holy Grail is some kind of gate. The thing that grants wishes isn't the Holy Grail itself, but whatever it contains. If that's true, then what will happen to Sakura, who's a Holy Grail? According to Ilya, the closer the Holy Grail comes to completion, the more Sakura will cease to function as a human. In the end, there's only one way to save her. I have to protect Sakura until the Holy Grail War is over. I don't know how exactly the Grail will manifest. It might show up once only one master is left, or it might need the last master to summon it. If it's the latter, that won't be a problem. We can just defeat Zoken and remove the threat to Sakura, then wait out the time limit on the war. Tosaka said that she challenged Zoken tonight, which means that he can be beaten. She wouldn't say that unless we had a strong chance of victory.
となると問題は一つだけ。
That black shadow. It won't disappear just because Zoken's gone. It'll keep showing up as long as the Holy Grail, Sakura, is around. Many people will die each time it appears. Waiting the war out would mean allowing the shadow to keep killing.
倒すしかない。あの影を俺の手で倒す。
It's the only way. But can I beat it? If it's something that's spilled out of the Holy Grail, then the shadow itself probably has no concept of death. Even if I could erase it somehow, that would mean erasing the person projecting it, Sakura, or erasing whoever's providing power to the projector.
本体か。
I hope nobody like that exists. But I can't think of any other solutions.
聖杯の中身。ゾウケンは10年前の戦いで砕け散った聖杯のかけらを桜に埋め込んだ。その時も中身なんてあったのかな。
Oh. Hold on. Zoken said that the crest worms were created from the fragments of the Grail.
琴峰。あいつはそのことに気がつかなかったのか。
There's no way. He extracted the crest worms from Sakura. He only managed to take out a few of them, but he did surgery to treat Sakura's body. That's bad. There's no way he wouldn't have known at that point. Even if only in name, he's the Holy Grail War's overseer, and a master who survived the previous war. Then he definitely would have noticed what was wrong with Sakura. I run out of the front door. The sudden revelation takes hold of my body, and all I can think of is the priest's face.
どうしてもっと早く気づかなかった。
I would have come to this conclusion if I'd just thought about it. Of course he would know what the shadow that Sakura is unconsciously projecting is. And what exactly is inside the Holy Grail. Fucking priest, dude. The noise from the front door makes Rin Tosaka look up in surprise. Peering through the window, she can indeed see someone running off in the street.
あのバカ、休んでろって言ったのにちっとも人の話を聞かないんだから。
She stops mixing the drug and stands up in a hurry. It's important to have Sakuramato drink this, but the priority now is to stop Shiro.
バジ豆腐どころの話じゃないわよあいつ。自分がどれだけ弱ってるかまるで分かってないんだから。
She goes down the stairs. She needs to hurry out the front door and chase after Shiro.
その前に。
She should warn Sakura before she leaves, just in case. At first, she was going to take the drug with her, but she still hasn't given Sakura the water pitcher and pajamas, nor taken her temperature. Shiro's recklessness is irritating, but she won't be in any position to scold Shiro if she neglects Sakura.
まあ、気配からして眠ってるんだろうけど。
It's only been about a minute. Shiro's bound to run out of breath and stop halfway down the hill. He can't run a kilometer in his condition.
何が厄介かって、本人が気づいてないあたりが厄介なのよ、バカ。
Anyway, she needs to catch up to him right away. Right now, she's the most able person in the Emiya household. It's only responsible of her to spend the extra energy taking care of her exhausted friends.
さくら、入るわよ。
She goes into the room without waiting for an answer.
ちょっと外に出てくる。すぐ戻るからおとなしくしてなさい。着替えはここに置いておくから。
She stops before she can finish her sentence.
やられた。やってくれたわね、さくら。
Rin punches the wall so hard she might break it. Sakura isn't in her bedroom. Someone else is lying in the bed.
見下げ果てた笑いだ。サーバントともあろう者がベッドで主人のふりをしてるなんてね。
私も不本意ですが、これも命令ですので。ですがこれはあなたの不注意でしょう。私に責任を押し
She
付けられ
says
て
so
も迷惑です。
nonchalantly.
言ってくれる。迷惑かけてるのはあの子の方じゃない。一方的に。
She audibly grinds her teeth. Her hostile glare slides off Ryder's serene attitude.
遠坂凛、次があるのならもっと出来のいい監視役を仕掛けなさい。翡翠の鳥程度の使いまでは桜は欺けない。技量でこそあなたに及びませんが、直感という才能はあなたと同格なのですから。
そう、ご忠告感謝するわ。けどその様子じゃ忠告だけってわけじゃなさそうね。
もちろん自分が帰ってくるまであなたを外に出すなと。
She clicks her tongue in the dimness. There's nothing she can do now. Rin can't defeat or escape from Ryder on her own. All she can do is stay as Sakura wants.
本当に頭きた。一人じゃできないからあいつが助けようとしたのに、結局一人で解決しに行くなんてね。
抵抗しないのですか。潔いのは結構ですが意外ですね。
外に出なけりゃいいんでしょ。どうせあなたにはかなわないし、さくらが帰ってくるまでおとなしくしてるわ。
Rin makes a show of sighing and leans against the wall. She doesn't feel like fighting right now. Her shoulders go slack and she looks down.
けどライダー、言っておくけどあの子はもう帰ってこない。いいえ、帰ってきたところで私たちの知ってる麻藤さくらじゃなくなってるわ。
The mage's icy voice prophesies a terrible future. Yeah, I had a feeling it was going to be one interlude out and then another interlude in. So this might be Sakura then. Yep. Her lungs are on fire. Her heart's been drumming a warning signal for some time within the confines of her chest. Ba-dump, ba-dump, squeeze, ba-dump. It cries out in protest as it vomits blood through her body, like an old man groaning that he's on his last legs. Her throat is in pain. Each breath feels like swallowing thorns. It's so terrifying she can't breathe. She's low on oxygen, but she suicidally stops herself from breathing. Without oxygen, her arms and legs can't move very well. She's made it this far on unsteady legs, but she could collapse at any time. The thought gives her a burst of strength. She can't let herself fall here. It would defeat the whole point of sneaking out. I'm going to settle my own unfinished business right here, right now. She can't stop, even if she and the old man who turned her into a master end up killing each other. She gets her breath under control. It's going to be all right. This won't be that hard. It might be for anyone else, but not for her. She just needs to look at the old man in the face like she does when they're eating together, shake her head and say, no. Then his schemes will come to an end. She doesn't consider what will happen to her after she denies the fiend's will. If she does, she won't be able to go through with it. So she doesn't think too hard about it. Fortunately, her memories are becoming less clear by the second. The fear isn't so bad since she won't even remember what's going to happen next. It's been several days since she was back in her house. She walks through the dark rooms, using the walls for support. She searches her scattered memory, but she can't remember a time when this house was ever bright. The house is the same as usual. It's wicked, corrupt, and sticky like it always is. But...
そんな、どうして?
This isn't what she expected. Her grandfather isn't here. She can't sense any of the bugs in the building. What the? She looks through the empty rooms, trying to support her failing body. This is strange. This is strange. This is strange. The old man isn't in the Mato mansion. His laughing voice isn't in the basement. It doesn't make sense. Zoken Mato, grandfather, wants to take me back. I thought that he wouldn't make a move as long as I was at the Emiya house. So now is his best chance. If I'm alone, he should show up and try to turn me into the Holy Grail. So, where is he? Her consciousness grows faint. That won't do. She needs to find Zoken Mato before she falls asleep, before Shiro Emiya acts. She needs to find him and end this. It would all be over if she met him, so why? Why isn't he here today, of all days? Of course he's aware. He's always watching me. No matter how far I am or where I hide, he'll always find me. He could easily capture me right now and make me do what he wants. He won't care whether I want to or not. He's always treated me as nothing but a tool. There's no way he's unaware. It doesn't matter that the priest reduced the number of worms in my body. They were just insurance. That old man has other ways of tracking me, of knowing my physical condition. He's even listening to my heartbeat. He knows that I left Ryder and came here alone. After all, he's always...
Sakura.
Oh boy, Shinji. A voice comes from behind her. It's... The instant she turns to face her brother's voice... I fucking hate Shinji so much. Fuck that guy. Alright, back to Emiya. Okay, back to Emiya. I arrived at the church after running without stopping even once. I started feeling short of breath on the way down the hill, but it passed by the time I got to the intersection. Physically, I feel surprisingly good. I ran nearly 5 kilometers from home to the church in a full sprint, even if it was the shortest route. I go into the church. If Kotomine's known about this all along, then I'll make him spit it all out, with force if I have to. The priest is in the chapel. He looks as if he's been waiting for me.
おやどうしたエミヤシロ身体極まって神に祈るなどと卑怯な男ではなかったはずだが終始替えかな
He greets me flippantly.
ふざけろ。あんたの闇に付き合ってる暇はないんだ。おしゃべりがしたきゃ一人でやってろ。
ほうなるほど確かに余裕はなさそうだなその体でよくここまで来れたものだよどうかな長話なら奥に移らないかお前とて立ち話はつらかろう
結構だ。それより答えろ、琴峰。あんた桜が聖杯だって知っていたな。
当然だあの娘の体を開いてみたのだからなあれが魔頭造剣によって調整された黒い聖杯だということは分かっていた
He answers bluntly. It's like his face is saying, so what?
お前それがどういうことだか分かっていて
My blood boils. I told myself that I need to stay calm, but Kotomine's words light my temper white hot.
そうだなそれがどういうことなのか魔頭桜をあのまま生かせば多くの人間を殺すことになるだからこそ私は忠告したのだあれを生かす価値があるのかとな
I pause. That's true. He did give me a warning back then. He saved Sakura and told me it was a mistake to let her live.
じゃあどうしてお前は桜を助けた俺は桜を守りたかっただけだけどお前にそんな理由はないだろう
理由はある 私もお前と同様、的藤さくらを死なせたくなかった。彼女が内包した新しい命を
Yeah, because
死なせることはでき
you
ない。
want Angremonyu to manifest in the world.
人間は死ぬものだ。的藤さくらが死ぬというのならそれも道理だろう。死にゆく者が彼女だけならば、私もあそこまで手は尽くさなかった。
死にゆく者がさくらだけなら。
So is this guy saying that he saved Sakura to let the shadow live?
その通りだ、エミヤシロ。傷を負い生き絶えるのならばそれは摂理だ。だが誕生しうる者、生まれようとする者を殺すことはできない。お前は的藤さくらを救うために彼女を保護した。私は的藤さくらがはらんだ闇を救うため彼女を救った。それが私の理由だ。お互い目的は違えど、的藤さくらには生きていてもらわねばならなかった。その結論に何か不満があるとでも。
I'm not unsatisfied. Whatever Kotomine was thinking, we needed his help back then. On top of that, he used up his entire magic crest to save Sakura. I should be grateful for the outcome.
そうだな。あんたが何を考えていたかなんて興味ない。それより聞かせてもらうぞ、ことみね。そこまで言うからには、あんたはあれの正体を知っているはずだ。
街を脅かす影のことか。まあ、私なりの考えはあるが、お前はどうだ。あれは一体何だと思う。
造剣は聖杯の中身だと言った。聖杯の中にあるものが桜を通じて外に出てきていると。
造剣に直接聞いたのか。なるほど、あの老人の考えそうなことだ。
Is it wrong?
それでお前は奴の言葉を全て信用しているのかね。あの影が的藤さくらから漏れた聖杯の中身であり、彼女が生きている限り殺戮を繰り返すものだと。
造剣なんて信用するか。けどあいつの言い分は符合しすぎている。桜があの影と関係があるって認めないわけにはいかない。
そうだな。造剣の説明に嘘はなかろう。だが
That figures.
真実も語ってはいない。
I don't exactly trust you to tell me the whole truth either, but
良
man,
いか。聖杯に満ちる力とは無色のもの。無色である以上、自分から人を襲うなどということはない。目的のない力は目的のないまま無産するものだろう。
that's true now that he mentions it. So why is the thing leaking out of Sakura attacking people indiscriminately?
どういうことだ。どうしてあれは人を襲う。
言うまでもない。聖杯の中には人間を殺す者がいる。そうでなければ説明はつかんだろう。
Something which kills people. It's in the Holy Grail and eating away at Sakura? My vision jars for a moment. I deny that anything so absurd could possibly exist. But wait. Didn't I see something exactly like that with my own eyes 10 years ago?
それこそおかしいだろう。聖杯の力が無色の力だって言うなら、初めから人間を殺すなんて目的を持ったものがあるはずない。
なあ、それは本来あってはならぬ。作られるはずのない矛盾だ。だが確かにあれは聖杯の中に潜んでいる。10年前、私とキリツグが残り聖杯をかけて戦ったことは教えていたな。その時点で聖杯の中身は何かに汚染されていた。無色のはずの力はあらゆる解釈を持って人間を殺す方向性を持った渦になっていたのだ。まあそれでも願いを可能とするほどの魔力の渦だ。願望機としての機能は損なわれていない。問題があるとすれば、 それは悪をもって善を浮き彫りにするという幸福のあり方だろう。10年前の火災はそれゆえの惨劇だ。私はそれでも変わらぬと聖杯を認め、キリツグはそのような悪は認めぬと聖杯を破壊した。その結果は言うまでもない。私のサーバントは汚染された聖杯の中身を浴び、聖杯から漏れた泥は町を燃やし、人を殺めた。その光景をお前ならば知っているはずだ。
Yeah, I watched it happen. I saw the root of all this destruction with my own eyes.
じゃあ、あの黒い穴が。
そう、聖杯という穴だ。皮肉な話だ。汚れなき最高純度の魂をくべる杯。そこに一粒の毒が混ざった程度で、汚れなきものは全て変色した。何しろ無色だからな。どれほど深淵で広大だろうと、たった一人の色のついた異分子にはかなわなかったというわけだ。
異分子って。じゃあそれが聖杯の中身を変色させた原因なのか。
おそらくな。3度目の儀式の折、アインツベルンは呼んではならぬものを召喚した。その結果、彼らが用意した聖杯戦争という儀式に3度目から4度目の間、50年の歳月をかけて聖杯の中で出産を待ったそれは、しかし外界に出ることはかなわなかった。4度目の聖杯は狭すぎたのだ。前回はセーバーとアーチャーが残ったまま期限を迎え、聖杯は完成しなかった。門こそ開いたものの、それは即座にキリツグによって破壊された。
不純物。そいつが黒い影の本体。
そいつというのは間違っているな。黒く染まろうと聖杯の中身は純粋な力の渦に過ぎない。中にあるものは方向性を持った
Magical
魔
energy
力
from
だ。
orientation.
人を殺すという方向性を持
Right,
っ
yeah, curses.
それだけに特化した呪いの渦。人間の悪性のみを具現した混ざり気のない魔。それが聖杯の中にいるもの。夜に徘徊する影の本体だ。まだ生まれておらず、的藤さくらがいなければ影さえ落とせない出産予定時に過ぎない。
出産予定時だと。ふざけんな。さくらはそんな得体の知れないやつを産ませられるっていうのか。
いや、的藤さくらが正しく作られた聖杯ならば、確かに彼女の肉体からそれは
But
現れ
she's
るだろう。
incapable of doing that, since she's incomplete.
だが彼女は特別だ。あれは門である的藤さくらを侵食し、門そのものになろうとしている。
Oh.
斧が誕生。無から有に至るため、彼女に自身の力を受け渡すことで、この世に生まれようとしているのだ。元より肉体を持たない力だ。人間として肉を持つ必要はない。誰かがその力を継承するだけで、それはこの世に存在することになる。聖杯の中身が漏れているのではない。あれは的藤さくらに浸透することで誕生しようとしている魔だ。ゆえにあの黒い影は聖杯の中身などではない。あれはすでに的藤さくらそのものだ。マスターへの侵食。的藤さくらに力の継承が済んでしまえば、彼女自身があの影に変貌する。
Wait. Hold on a second, Kotomine. I can't keep track of everything you're saying.
元より不完全な聖杯。いや、前回の戦いで汚染された聖杯を使用した時点で、彼女はとうに契約していた。アインツベルンが作った聖杯ならば、このようなことにはならなかっただろう。聖杯の中身は呪いに満ちていただろうが、 それと適応するだけのよりしろではないのだからな。
Shut up. You're talking way too much. Just say it simply. For example, you could say that the shadow isn't Sakura's subconscious. That's what Zoken said, but you're implying that the shadow is attacking people because that's always been its power. Sakura can't have wanted this to happen.
聖杯の中で渦巻く呪い、これに適応する聖杯でなければあのように呪いが形を得ることなどなかっただろう。聖杯の中にいる者は自身を確かな形に形取れるよりしろとつながってしまった。通常の聖杯、アインツベルン製の黄金や魔術師の肉体を使った聖堂の聖杯ならば形にはならず不確かな形になっていただろう。何しろ質量を持つほどの呪いだ。場合によってはただ増殖するだけの肉の塊になるやもしれん。
Yeah, under some circumstances, it might have multiplied into a great lump of flesh. Right. Yeah, that's what happened when Gil put the core into Shinji. That has nothing to do with me. Get to the point. Tell me the conclusion. I thought that I would save her if I defeated the Shadow. That I just needed to beat it before Sakura turned into the Holy Grail. But if Sakura herself is the Shadow...
呪いは的を桜というよりしろを得た。何しろ前回の戦いでこの世に漏れた触覚を体に埋め込まれ魔術回路として育てられた人間だ。的を桜が聖杯として門を開けば開くほど中にいるものと一体化していくだろう。だが安心しろ。的を桜に理性がある限り影は影に過ぎない。いかに呪いが的を桜を汚染しようと命令権は彼女にある。彼女が聖杯として門を閉じようとする限り中の者は的を桜に宿るだけで完全には外に出られない。マスターとサーバントの関係と同じだ。マスターである的を桜が許さない限りサーバントである呪いはその力を行使できない。どれほど圧倒的な力を持とうとこの主従関係だけは覆せない。呪いがその方向性を遺憾なく発揮するには的を桜の理性が邪魔だ。的を桜が呪いを自らの一部として受け入れるか、それとも呪いの魔力量に耐えきれず理性が崩壊するか。彼女はすでにあの影そのものだ。もはや聖杯戦争が終わったところで彼女を元に戻すことはできん。
He's saying that if I kill the Shadow and check its dead body, I'll find Sakura lying there. I thought my heart just stopped. I clutched at my chest hard enough to tear the skin and force myself to start breathing again.
じゃあ桜をこのまま生かすってことは。
あの黒い影を羽化させるということ。いずれ彼女の精神は死に、その時こそ地獄が具現する。いや、あのままでは肉体が耐えられぬと思ったが、よくやったなエミヤシロ。お前のおかげで的を桜は未だ聖杯として機能している。
お前は桜を化け物にしたいのか。
無論だ。あれが何であれ誕生する意志がある限
You
り
punch him?
生まれ出ようとする者を止めることはできない。そして間違えるなエミヤシロ。お前はあれを化け物というのか。まだこの世に現れてもいないものを化け物と。
当然だろう。あの影は悪魔だ。今だって際限なく人を殺しまくる悪魔じゃないか。
早計だな。善悪など所詮発生した後に我々が決めることに過
Oh,
ぎ、
cram it, you fucking
まだあ
weirdo.
りもしないものを否定することは誰にもできない。それとも何か。お前は犯罪者の息子は間違いなく 犯罪者になるとでも言うのか。それゆえに生まれる前に殺してしまえと。
What are you talking about? He himself said it's something which kills humans. It's already killing people right now.
それが間違い。あの影は的尾さくらというよりしろから作った影に過ぎ、聖杯より生まれ出ようとする者はあれとは違う何かだ。あの影は的尾さくらを使い、誕生のために人々の命を吸っているに過ぎ、ただ生きることを欲する血のみごと同じだ。無意識である以上、あれの行いに善悪は問えん。
バカを言うな。実際人が死んでるんだぞ。
そうだな。故に罪も罰も与えられるべきだろう。だがそれが誕生してからの話だ。まだ誰にもあれを否定することはできん。
You really do have this weird, fucked up sense of morality, Kotomine.
帰らざる者、未だ世に在価を問われぬ者を排斥することはできない。良いか、明確な悪の定義など人の世には存在しない。だがそれでもこの世に悪があるとするのなら、生まれようとする者を止めることこそが絶対の悪ではないか。
My words catch in my throat. I don't accept Kotomine's argument to turn Sakura into the contents of the Holy Grail. Or rather, that he refuses to stop it from happening. But attacking him for what he just said won't change anything, and it won't help Sakura.
琴峰、あんたの目的はさくらが聖杯に変わることか。
I ask him with menace in my voice. It's already too late to declare war, but I want to know exactly where we each stand.
そのために的尾さくらを助けたと言った。それが生まれるというのであれば、私はそれを祝福するだけだ。お前が的尾さくらを擁護するように、私はその胎児を擁護しよう。
そうか。それは俺たちの敵ってことか。
無論だ。だが私は的尾さくらの命が欲しいわけではないし、的尾増減のように聖杯の力が欲しいわけでもない。聖杯の中にあるもの、それが命として誕生した時のみ、それを擁護する。出産の前に母体が子を拒むのであらば、そちらの意志を尊重しよう。
Kotomine isn't lying. He really doesn't care about winning the Holy Grail War. All he's interested in is the outcome. He wants to know whether we or Zoken will survive, and see what happens afterward. He doesn't intend to force Sakura's transformation. He said that he would help Sakura when we couldn't do anything to stop her from transforming.
わかった。あんたが傍観に徹するんなら俺も手は出さない。理由はどうあれ、あんたはさくらを助けてくれた。今はそれだけで十分だ。
そうか。私が助けたのは母体だが、そう取るのなら口出しはせん。さて、お前の要件はこれだけかな。ならば的尾さくらのもとに帰るがいい。あまり一人にしていい状況ではないだろう。
The priest says it out of concern for Sakura's physical, no, her mental health. We're clearly supposed to be enemies now, but it's as hard as ever to tell whose side he's really on.
いや、もう一つだけ聞きたい。多分これがあんたに聞く最後の質問になる。
ほう、最後ならば無下にはできんな。いいだろ、聞こう。
琴峰、さくらは助けられるのか。
My question changed the atmosphere. The gravity that always seems to surround the priest doubles, and he gives me a word of advice.
手はある。だが半々というところだ。聖杯として完成すれば的尾さくらという人格は消え去るだろう。だが聖杯が放つ力に彼女の精神が少しでも耐えられるのなら、おそらく もって数秒、その合間に聖杯を制御し、その力をもって彼女の内部に救う者を排除する。要は力ずくだ。的藤さくらを聖杯に仕立て上げる刻印中も、彼女の肉体をより代にする者も、聖杯の力で殺してしまえばよい。汚染されたとはいえ、聖杯は願望機としての機能を保っている。その用途が殺害に関することならば、それこそ殺せぬ命はない。
結局それか。初めからこの戦いは。
そう、聖杯を手に入れることに集約される。だが注意しろ。聖杯の力を聖杯そのものに向けるのだ。並大抵の魔術師では魔力を制御できず、しくじれば10年前の惨劇を繰り返すことになる。それだけではない。わずか数秒で聖杯を制御するなど狂気の沙汰だ。お前一人ではどうあっても成し得ない奇跡だぞ。
けどそれしかないんだろう。ならやってやるさ。それにそういうことならこっちだって少しは当てがある。
なるほど。お前には凛がいたな。凛は的藤さくらの姉だ。妹の精神に同調し、聖杯からの反動を和らげることも容易だろう。もっともそんな馬鹿げた賭けにあれが賛同するとは思えないが。
He's right, of course. My first priority when I get home now is to convince Tosaka.
いいさ、そんなのはこっちの苦労だ。じゃあアバよ、尺だけど世話になった。あんたの言い分は認めないけど礼は言っとく。
待て、質問に答えたのだ。私からも一つ聞きたいことがある。
I stop on the way out. I'm not in the mood for this, but it's better than owing him any more favors.
なんだよ、最後にするって言ったのはあんただろ。手短に済ませてくれ。
何、万が一今の方法で的藤さくらを救えたとしよう。だがお前はそれでいいのかな、エミヤシロ。的藤さくらが聖杯で亡くなったとしても、彼女がすでに人食いであることに変わりはない。その罪人をお前は擁護するというのか。
I halt. This time, his words really do make my blood run cold.
耐えられぬのはお前だけではない。彼女は多くの人間を殺した。的藤さくら自身、そのような自分を容認できるとは思えんが。
それは
罪を犯し償えぬまま生き続けるのは辛かろう。ならば人思いに殺してやった方が幸せなのではないか。その方が楽であり、奪われた者たちへの謝罪にもなる。
Yeah. That's where this chain of logic would lead. It doesn't matter how she alone feels about it. No matter what the circumstances were, the victims deserve to see some kind of punishment. If lives were taken, then those they were taken from can never be satisfied unless an equal price is paid. They would want to kill her. If we feel apologetic at all to those who were lost, then society would dictate that Sakura, the perpetrator, be killed as well. And that's not all. If we fail to save Sakura and she becomes a holy grail anyway, then all the brakes will be off. There will be 10 times as many deaths. Just like that day when innocent people died one after another, without knowing why. I swallow the bile rising to my throat. My eyes feel bloodshot, like I could cry blood at any moment. I take thousands of swords and cut those feelings down.
ああ、けどそれは償いじゃない。
I still swore to protect Sakura.
そうか。エミやキリツグの後は継がないというわけか。
His voice is calm. The priest looks at me with a bored, even disappointed expression.
親父の後だと。
そうだ。お前の父親は人間を愛していた。より高く、より遠く、 より広く際限なく限界を切り開く人間を愛し、そのあの男ならばやはり的尾さくらを殺していただろう。奴は正義とやらのために人間らしい感情を切り捨てた男だからな。
それはあんたとは違うのか。正義のために、多くの幸福のために一人の人間の幸福を切り捨てると。
いや、お前たちが幸福と呼ぶものでは私に喜びを与えなかった。
That doesn't answer the question. No, actually, the musing priest isn't even looking at me.
そう、違ったな。奴は初めからあったものを切り捨て、私には初めから切り捨てられるものがなかった。結果は同じながら、その過程があまりにも違った。奴の存在はあまりにも不愉快だった。奴の苦悩は明らかに不快だった。そこまでして切り捨てるというのなら、初めから持たねばよい。だというのに奴は苦悩を持ち、切り捨てた後でさえ拾い上げた。それが人間の正しい営みだというように。その違いこそが決定的だった。そう、初めから持ち得ないのなら、なぜ私はこの世に生を受けたのか。
The priest's musings aren't directed at anyone, but I can feel the anger in his words. It's a show of genuine emotion that I didn't think he was capable of.
それを思えば、お前に切り継ぐの後など告げるはずもなかった。奴は切り捨てることで実行したが、お前は両立することしか実行できない。お前は私と似ている。お前は一度死に、蘇生するときに故障した。後天的ではあるが、私と同じ生まれついての欠陥品だ。
故障ってどこが壊れてるって言うんだ。
気づいていないだけだ。お前には自分という概念がない。だがそのお前がまさか一つの命にこだわるとはな。いや、それとも。
It's not that I obsess over many lives, but that I care about all lives as much as I care about one. Yeah. Kirei Kotomine thinks out loud, sounding somewhat envious.
まあいい。その上で的尾さくらだけを救うのなら止めはしない。背負いたいだけ在業を背負うがいい。最後に忠告をしよう。どのような形であれ的尾さくらを救いたいのであらば、的尾造剣を殺すことだ。奴は的尾さくらの精神が消え去った後、空になった肉体に乗り移る。そうなっては的尾さくらを取り戻すこともできなくなる。
乗り移るって。
そう、あれの本体は人体に寄生する虫だからな。魂の容器にあたる脳虫がどこに潜んでいるかは知れんが、それが生きている限り人体の乗っ取りは安い。的尾造剣はある意味不老不死だ。魂を世に留めている手のひらほどの虫を探し出すか、魂そのものを浄化させなければ完全には滅ぼせん。
そうか、逆にすっきりしたよ。どのみち造剣は倒さなくちゃいけないってことなんだからな。
なるほど。確か的尾造剣を倒し、的尾さくらを勝者にする。その後に現れる聖杯を制御し、的尾さくらの身体を洗浄する。方針としてはそんなところか。
I nod reluctantly. Kotomine is right. It's good to keep things simple.
これは試験だがな。的尾さくらの精神は存外に強く、聖杯の呪いに適合しすぎている。輪が陽性だとしたら、あれは陰性なのだろう。的尾造剣に落ち度があったとしたらそこだ。あの黒い影は。
Right. Because Rin said before, too, that Sakura was suited to the imaginary elements. That's probably why the shadow was able to grow so much within her.
的を桜を守るがいい。羽化に耐えられるのであれば、母体とて死にはすまい。
I nod without saying anything else. Kotomine's goal is Sakura's transformation, but that's still a lot better than anything Zoken has planned.
言っとくが、あんたの出番はない。そんな得体の知れないものを羽化なんてさせるもん。
その意気だ。決して造剣にだけは手渡すな。
We might be a little too late for that. I snort and head for the door. I'm done with this place. I need to get back to Sakura soon. When I get back to the house, the first thing I feel is a terrible chill. Nothing seems particularly out of place, nor do I sense any danger. I just have a vaguely cold sense of foreboding. The living room is empty. Ilya is sleeping in the tatami room. Tosaka is getting ready for the projection in her guest room. As for Sakura...
Sakura, 入るぞ。
I announce myself and reach for the doorknob. The chill runs down my back again. Something feels wrong, something missing, but I shake off the hunch and open the door.
Sakura!
Hey, Ryder. I catch sight of Ryder for an instant before she vanishes like a ghost. Behind her, the bed that Sakura is supposed to be sleeping in is unoccupied. The lights turn on. I blink at the sudden illumination.
おかえりなさい。どこに行ってたかは聞かないけど、ずいぶんと遅かったわね。
遠坂、これは一体。
見ればわかるでしょ。さくらは一人で外に出て行って、私はさっきまでライダーに睨まれていたのよ。彼女、あなたには手を出さないよう命じられているんでしょうね。シローが入ってきた途端、霊体化して外に逃げていったわ。
Tosaka's voice is calm. No, it isn't. This isn't the voice of someone composed. Her cold, flat tone sounds like she's given up.
遠坂、さくらが出て行ったって。
本当よ。あなたが出ていく前からいなかったようだから、もう2時間は経つわ。あんな体で何をする気かは知らないけど、私たちの言いつけは聞けないってことでしょうね。探しに行こうとした私をライダーで止めるぐらいなんだから、後ろめたいことでもあるんでしょう。
バカなこと言うな。さくらが俺たちに隠し事をしてる。
I can't say for sure that isn't true. Sakura's nightmares. I could never understand how Sakura feels about her steadily deteriorating health.
とにかく連れ戻さないと。あんな状態のさくらを一人にしたら
犠牲者が出るかもね。学校で私を襲った時みたいに目についた人から魔力を奪いかねないわ。だってほら、昨夜あの影に襲われた人がいなかったでしょ。きっと空腹なのよ、あの子。
遠坂。
She looks slightly away and goes quiet. Her eyes seem to say, "It's over, Shiro."
遠坂、お前。
さくらを探すのはいい。私けど、見つけ出してあの子の姿を見た時、さくらがもうさくらじゃなかったら、やるべき。
そんなことはない。さくらはさくらのままだ。
正気？もう限界だってわからないの？いい加減諦めなさい、シロ。これ以上さくらをかばったら、まず真っ先にあなたが
つまらない憶測は後だ。今はさくらを見つけて連れ戻すだけだろう。その後で納得いくまで言い合ってやるから、今は黙ってろってんだ。
待ちなさい、シロ。
I run down the hall. I don't even have time to wonder where Sakura is.
もういいでしょ、シロ。
I run with all my might, as if to deny what Tosaka was saying.
シロ、さくらを探しに行くの。
But then, I hear an unexpected voice just as I reach for the door. When did she show up? Ilya is watching me from afar as if there's a wall between us.
イリア。
答えてしろ。さくらを探しに行くの。
I nod. Ilya's voice is strained. Her resignation is different than Tosaka's. Maybe she can feel exactly what Sakura is going through as a fellow Holy Grail.
そう。けどシロ、さくらが一人で外に出たのはシロに見られたくなかったからだよ。さくらはシロを守るために怖いけど死にたくないけど聖杯である自分自身に決着をつけに行ったの。シロが好きだったさくらはもういないわ。さくらは自分を消すために一人でここから出て行ったんだから。
Ilya's eyes bore straight into mine. I return the gaze and shake my head firmly. I won't let it happen. Even if Sakura isn't herself anymore, there's only one thing for me to do.
そう。けどシロ、私もさくらも自分の中にもう一つの自分を持っている。それはきっとシロが知っている私じゃないし、シロが思っているさくらとは違うんだよ。さくらは戻らない。変わってしまったさくらはもう別人に過ぎない。それでもさくらを殺すのは嫌なの。シロ。
Ilya asks me a question. Very quietly. The Holy Grail is something people created. She's telling me that it was made to be broken, so I shouldn't hesitate to destroy it. When Ilya talks about herself like that, all I can hear is Sakura's name instead.
シロ、もう一度だけ聞くわ。それでもあなたはさくらを探しに行くの？
I don't know what feelings are behind that question, so I answer as honestly as I can.
ああ、探しに行く。俺にとってさくらはどうあってもさくらなんだ。それはイリアも同じだろう。もしイリアが聖杯なんてわけのわからないものになっても、イリアたとえどんなに変わり果ててしまっても、その中にイリアがいるのなら、それは俺の知っているイリアだと思う。難しいことは正直よくわからない。俺にはそれだけだ。
I reach for the door.
条件のところよ。さくらが行くとしたらそこ以外ありえないわ。
Her voice guides me from behind.
わかった。イリアはうちで待機しててくれ。さくらを連れてすぐ帰ってくる。
I leave the house entrance. Ilya keeps watching me go from afar. I arrive at the Mato mansion. I'm not winded at all. I should be tired after running this morning, but my body feels completely fine.
あい。
My finger stops before ringing the doorbell. Did someone enter or leave? The front door lies partly ajar, and the inside is terribly quiet. There's no sign of anyone here. The house is even more dreary than it was yesterday. I don't find anyone on the first floor. The only sound I hear is my echoing footsteps. I make my way upstairs, the floorboards creaking beneath me. The second floor is also empty. I gaze up at the sky through the skylight. I could sense that there was no one living here as soon as I went up the stairs. I stop myself before I go back downstairs. No one living. A sense of dread directs my attention to an open door. It's Sakura's room. I've seen it once before. I've never been inside. When Shinji showed me around before, Sakura pushed us outside, blushing furiously. I think that was 2 years ago. Nothing's changed. It's a girly room, barely decorated at all, which is like Sakura. There.
シンジ。
Shinji's dead body is sprawled on the bed. Good. Fuck you, asshole. Glad he's dead. Oh, is this gonna be Sakura killing him? Nice. I'm glad we get a seat to this.
ずいぶん遅いお帰りじゃないか。
The mask falls off the man who was her brother. His sticky plastic smile is gone without a trace.
この裏切り者、マトウの面汚しが。
He screams at her as he closes in. The man glowers viciously at the girl, closing in with sluggish yet threatening steps. The girl twitches in fright. She realizes that he's approaching her with hatred and bloodlust.
そうだよな。お前はそうでなくっちゃ。そうだ。どんなに普通の人間を装っても変わらない。お前はマトウの女だ。卑しい魔術師崩れ。恐れ、怯え、やがて感情をなくし、人形と変わらなくなる。
He roughly moves in. She retreats. A long-lost feeling of superiority brings a smile to the man's face. And that's why he fails to realize that the girl cowering in front of him isn't obedient like she's always been. The man is the only one who doesn't see that she's twisting away from him out of sheer revulsion and defiance.
なんだ、今日は随分元気じゃないか。そうかそうかそうか、そりゃあいい。
He's so gross.
エミヤも今頃落ち込んでるだろうな。
やめて、近寄らないで、兄さん。
The girl does everything she can to push the threatening man away.
は？
He stops. His extended hand slightly dips and he stares down at the girl as if encountering something alien.
なんて言った？今お前なんて言った？
His voice is shocked. The girl gulps and works up the courage to look him in the eyes.
近寄らないでと言ったんです。私はこれ以上兄さんの言いなりにはならない。先輩はこんな私でも受け入れてくれた。私を守るって言ってくれた。私は兄さんのおもちゃじゃない。私はもう。
The girl desperately tries to squirm out from under the man's oppressive shadow. His voice is hollow. He stares down at the cowering girl.
ふざけんな。ふざけるな。ふざけるな。ふざけるな。この
His temper explodes.
エミヤだと僕の言いなりにはならない。勘違いするな。何様のつもりだお前。決めるのはいつでも兄である僕だ。お前は今まで通りただ黙って従えばいいんだよ。
The Damo's anger is broken and there's no stopping it. His mind can't take the shock of being defied by someone who's never turned on him before.
訂正しろよさくら。お前は僕のものだ。他の誰のものでもない。身の程をわきまえろ。お前はマトウの女だ。ならお前には僕に逆らう権利なんてこれっぽっちもないんだよ。
He doesn't know how to stop his anger. The girl glares at him reproachfully with determination in her eyes. He finds her gaze maddening. He doesn't like being stared at so directly. At the same time, he laughs at her powerless resistance. He laughs. He laughs. The brother cackles in delight. That's when she realizes deep down what he's thinking. No matter what, he seems determined to ruin my life, just to ridicule me. She whimpers. Why is he always like this? She's put up with so much for so long. She's lied to other people and even herself, trying to convince herself that she could still be happy someday. She thought that she was happy just being at Senpai's house. And yet, why can't he even let her have that? No, he isn't the only one. She's always thought, always resented. Why? Why? Why does the world around me hate me this much? She can't put any strength into her limbs. She doesn't feel like resisting, and the man who calls himself her brother leers down at her. The girl absently stares up at the man, making a smug, sinister expression.
こんな人いなければいいのに。
11 years. She thinks something she's never thought before in all that time. Well. Deserved. Something whips through the air. The man who had been bearing down on her limps over. There's a shower of fresh blood. The girl rises and looks wordlessly at the man. He died instantly. Something incredibly sharp hit him in the head. There's some kind of line leading into his cranium. Marked by flowing red liquid, the line reached his brain, but it's so thin that nothing leaks from the wound. She feels nothing as she looks down at it. The shadow that killed her brother is swaying. It's swaying as the gray sunlight illuminates it. It's hers. Her own sunlit shadow smoothly rises, quivering and swaying. That's why she's the one who did it. She killed her own brother. She understands this, but she feels nothing. She feels nothing. 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 Not hatred, nor fear, nor guilt, nor regret. The only thought in her empty mind is how easy it was. This feels familiar. It isn't the first time. She's dreamed about it plenty of times. Maybe she learned by example because she saw it in her dreams. In her dreams. She's not sure. But she should have done this sooner. If it wasn't going to feel like anything, then she should have done this a lot sooner. That's right, she thinks. Her supposedly absent emotions whisper that it was fun. It was fun. It was fun. It was fun? Not it is fun, but it was fun? When? Where? What? Dream. In a dream. Oh, right. I'm not dreaming. Yeah, that dream. It isn't a dream. The person that goes out every night and kills all the men who approach her is none other than herself. She killed a lot of them. So many. I did it. I killed them all while laughing. It's hilarious. If she doesn't laugh, she'll break. She can't take this unless she laughs. But the more she laughs, the more she falls apart, and her tears won't stop, and nothing starts to matter anymore. It's so funny that it makes her stomach hurt. The more she laughs, the stupider she gets. But it feels so good, and it comes out so easily. Ah, how silly, how absurd, how foolish she is. Her smile twitches. Sweet, twinkling chuckles escape her lips in place of her now motionless brother. And then, after playing with her brother's body for a while, moving it around like a child playing house, she finally gets up from the bed. She stands in front of the mirror, looking at her blood-stained figure. The shadow that's killed so many is standing behind her. Her shadow. Her dark self that's eaten dozens of people. She tried so hard to control herself so that this wouldn't happen. Someone stayed by her side so this wouldn't happen. She laughs scornfully. There had never been any point to it from the beginning.
なんだ、少しずつおかしくなってたんじゃないんだ。
She twirls in front of the mirror. A proud smile adorns her lips.
見てください、先輩。 私最初から壊れてたんです。
She says in the same tone one might use to ask for a dance. The girl's mind ended there. It was replaced, to be precise. Her subconscious, which she had always kept a lid on, simply emerged. There's someone else she's speaking to as well. Behind the girl, in the deep darkness, he reveals only his presence.
多くの人間を殺したな、さくら。
The girl doesn't answer. She doesn't even need to nod.
お前はもはや人として生きられる。
She doesn't answer. That isn't worth responding to either.
さあ、その影を受け入れるがいい。お前を止められる者はおらん。アインツベルンの娘を奪い聖杯を手に入れよう。もはやお前にそれ以外の生きる術はない。
はい、仰せのままに、おじい様。
She nods quietly. Does she anticipate the work to come, or does she merely want to flee from him? She doesn't know her own heart anymore. All she knows is that the moment she accepted her shadow, all the pain she'd ever felt vanished like a dream. It creeps up her body. Starting with her feet, the black mud coats her skin. The pain becomes fire and it burns her skin. Like a curse. Her pale skin turns into something else.
これなら
She won't lose to anyone ever again. No one can stop her. She knows for a fact that she's the strongest fighter in this war. She'll defeat everyone who's threatened her, just as she always imagined. She trembles. The thought alone fills her with unexpected joy. In the midst of her rapture, one name repeatedly comes to mind. Rin Tosaka, the family member she loves and respects the most. Oh boy. Oh, that's not great.
Shinji.
Shinji's corpse is on the bed. That's all. What happened here? It shouldn't be possible to glean what happened, but
Sakura.
I know she killed him. I can't think straight. Shinji's body. Sakura's whereabouts. It hasn't even been half a day since I held Sakura last night, so how? Why?
おや、誰かと思えば。
Fuck you, Zoken.
よく来たと言いたいところだが、少しばかり遅かったようじゃな。
I whirl around at the sudden voice. Nobody's behind me. I know that there isn't anyone in this mansion. This is just Zoken's voice transmitted from somewhere else.
ゾウケン。お前、桜に何をした？
何もしておらん。見ての通り、不肖の孫が妹から返り討ちにあっただけ。別段騒ぎ立てるほどのことでもない。だが、不肖の孫と呼ぶのもこれ限りじゃな。使えの男であったが、最後にはきっちりと役目を果たしてくれた。
He chuckles. I can't see the old mage, but it's clear that he's enjoying this.
シンジの役目？
おうよ。桜をその気にさせるのはわしではできん。わしはちとあれに嫌われすぎてしまったからな。桜が自らの影を受け入れるには、この世に絶望してもらわねばならなかったからの。いやはやこれはわしの過ちじゃ。あれの精神力を甘く見ておった。よもやあれがあそこまで我慢強く育つとは思わなんだ。
My nerves condense. Before I can even comprehend his rambling, my right hand balls into a fist, and I instantly open my magic circuit.
いや、よく言えば、お主の手で桜を裏切って欲しかったのだぞ。それならば、あのように半端な覚醒ではとどまらず、心身ともに影そのものに変わり果てたであろう。だがまあ、それも時間の問題よな。シンジの死をもってあれはようやく自分の立場を受け入れた。あとは見ているだけでよい。あれは本能の赴くままに人を襲い、その暴食ゆえに自滅する。
わしの仕事はその後ということ。
I punch him. I punch the voice in the darkness where there should only be a wall, with all my might. My punch, unconsciously powered by all the magical energy I could ram into it, blasts through the wall, seeping away the darkness, staining the room.
これは怖い。監視役にと残した虫どもが軒並み潰れおったわ。これではすぐに声すら届かなくなるな。
うるせえ、出てこい造形。ここで八つ裂きにしてやる。
いやいや、残念だがそういうわけにもいかん。マキリ500年の宿願にようやく手が届いたのだ。ここでお主に殺されるわけにもいかんし、お主を仕留めるほど恩知らずでもないのでな。
恩知らずだと。ふざけるな。誰がお前に尻尾を振った。
振ったとも。お主はあそこまで桜を育ててくれたではないか。あの娘に他者を欲するという感情を教え込んだのは他ならぬお主よ。
Man, I really can't wait till this old fuck gets what's coming to him.
そう、わしは感謝しておるよ、エミヤシロ。こたびの儀はお主がいてこその成功だった。故に殺しはせん。お主には見事成長したあれの姿を見てもらわねばならんからの。
造形。
もはや誰にも止められん。兄を殺したあれは立ち止まることなどできん。アインツベルンの聖杯、あの小娘が取り込んだアーチャーの魂を取り込み、門に至る鍵を奪う。させれば罪だ。我がマキリの悲願、第三法の再現がついに果たされるのみよ。
His laugh is grating. I rush home. Wait. They're going to take the Einsburn Grail. I run. I don't care about Zoken's cackling. He's just watching me from a safe location anyway. No, never mind that old bastard's rambling.
そうだ、急がよいエミヤシロ。すでに桜は国化しておる。イリアスフィールを捕らえれば容赦なく飲み下すぞ。
I run as fast as I can. I don't care if my legs give out.
イリア、プッシュして。
It takes 20 minutes to get home from the mansion at full sprint. I run back to Ilya as fast as I can, glaring up at the overcast sky. The girl looks up at the sky. The gray sunlight clouds her hair, and her red eyes are steeped in shadow.
そうね。シローが帰ってきたら言わなくっちゃ。
Ilya's field talks out loud, to no one in particular. The Emiya house is quiet. Shiro and Rin both went looking for Sakura. Ryder doesn't show herself as usual, so Ilya's all by herself.
天の杯、200年前に作られた一番初めの約束の土地。この感じじゃもう起動が始まってる。
Is she talking about the Greater Grail? This is the 5th Holy Grail War to take place in the town of Fuyuki. The Holy Grail descends on a different location each time, but this time it's returned to where it began. It's only natural. They use the 4 gates in this land, and each time it fails, they pick a new one. The first was Ryudo Temple. The second was the Tosaka House. The third was the church on the hill. The fourth was that burned field. And this time it will return to the land it first appeared in. To the land where it all started. To the false utopia where they first enacted this ritual called the Holy Grail War.
精霊の魂で満ち足りた聖杯。それをもって門を開くのが彼らが目指した奇跡だけど、まさか開けてもいないのに中に住んでしまうものが出るなんて。
She finds it rather comical. With things as they are, the Einsburns' wish will be for naught. They failed. Whatever happens next, whatever will soon be born, will be a catastrophe far removed from what they desired.
放っておけばいい。私の役目は開けることだもの。閉じろなんてこと誰も私に言わなかった。
Even if she was willing to try, it's too late now. Sakura now surpasses her as a Holy Grail. The Ainsburn Grail cannot interfere with the gate that the Makiri Grail has opened. Zoken Mato meant to open the same thing, but he opened something different. Only Ilya understands this, along with the other girl turned into a Holy Grail, Sakura.
間に合うかな、シロ。シロが間に合うなら一緒にどこか遠くに逃げてもいいけど。
She peers up at the sky absently. The girl's been having doubts. She's having trouble choosing between her duty and the newfound desires in her.
でもね、シロ。どっちにしたって死んじゃうことに変わりはないんだよ。
The outcome won't change. Only death awaits her, whether she faces the gate as the Holy Grail or runs away. That's why she keeps asking herself what she really wants as she looks up at the gray expanse. And that's why she doesn't notice. A shadow creeps through the entrance to the house saying, "I'm home." Did it infiltrate the bounded field around the home, or did the barrier fail to identify her as an intruder? Slowly, she moves from the living room to the backyard without making a sound and reaches for the girl's shoulder.
ずいぶん遅いお帰りね、さくら。今までどこに行ってたの？姉さん。
The intruder, Sakura Mato, freezes. She looks away from Ilya, who's right in front of her, and at Rin Tosaka waiting in the yard.
イリアから離れなさい。それ以上近づいたら容赦なく撃ち抜くわ。
Everyone here knows that it isn't an idle threat.
無駄なことなのに。あ、それでリンの気が済むならいいけど。
Ilya's Feel walks out, not looking surprised in the least. She goes to the edge of the yard as if to spectate the face-off between Sakura and Rin.
そう。初めからここで待っていたんですね、姉さん。私がイリアちゃんを誘いに来ると読んでたんだ。まあね、私にはシローと違ってあんたを助ける理由がないもの。いよいよとなったらイリアをさらいに来るのは明白でしょ。そうでなくても一度前科があるんだから、イリアを見張るのは当然よ。
The way she says Shiro makes Sakura twitch. She doesn't like it. The open loathing on her face would be utterly alien to anyone who knew her before.
ひどいな。姉さんはいつもそう。そうやって決めつけて私をバカにするんです。自分は綺麗だからって汚れた私を見下している本当に嫌な人。ねえ姉さん、私そんなに悪い子ですか？
Her voice contains no emotion. Rin takes the question in stride.
当たり前じゃない。この家を出た時点で救いきれない大バカよ。あんたは麻藤さくらを守りたがってたやつを最後まで信じてやらなかったんだから。
She snaps back at Sakura. Sakura drops her gaze. The truth of the remark seems to make her genuinely realize her error.
私はそれが最良だと思ったなんて言わないで。私たちは外に出るなって言ったのよ。それに異論があったならまず相談しろって言うのよ。なのにあんたは黙って出て行った。一人きりで今までと全く同じ失敗を繰り返した。本当に呆れたわ。そんなことも守れないから他人にいいようにつけ込まれるのよ、あんたは。そうですね。確かに今まではそうでした。けど姉さん、私もう弱くなんてありません。これからは姉さんが家にこもっていてください。先輩は私が守りますから。
An ominous shadow spills out in concert with her icy gaze. Expecting this, Rin takes a slight step back. She doesn't realize that her moment of weakness is the last push Sakura needs.
どうしたんですか姉さん。そんな風に背中を丸めてるとまるで 私に怯えているように見えますよ。
Rin clicks her tongue, realizing her mistake, but it's too late. No. She was never ready to begin with. From the moment Sakura reached for Ilya, it was already over.
そう、もう部屋でおとなしくしてる気はないってこと？ええ、姉さんの言うことなんてもう聞きません。だって私の方が強いもの。
Shadows leap. Innumerable jet black streams rush out from Sakura's feet and cover the yard. And from within that thick, inky black,
さくら、あんた。
a knight wielding a dark tainted sword emerges.
セイバー、聖杯を捕まえて。抵抗するようなら多少の乱暴は構わないから。
The dark saber obeys without a word. There's no longer any doubt. It's clear what the shadow is now, and the fate of any servant it devours is in plain sight before them. Rin bites her lip. But then... something shadowy, far surpassing Rin's magical energy, lashes out at her in a merciless, lethal shot. She hits the ground rolling. The shadow that was shot out is on the same level as that black shadow. If she touches it, she's finished. Even if the slightest graze will cause it to stick to Rin's... even the slightest graze will cause it to stick to Rin's skin and engulf her in the blink of an eye. And once that happens, if she's swallowed by the shadow that not even servants can escape from, then Rin, a bundle of magic circuits, would be absorbed entirely without being able to resist at all.
Oh no!
The tentacles shoot out at her in rapid succession. Rin realizes that this isn't coming from the shadow, but from Sakura's own magecraft. The Mato's magecraft specializes in binding others. But originally, Sakura was a Tosaka, a shadow wielder aligned with imaginary numbers. She can manifest the shadow to this extent because of her 2 alignments. They catch up to Rin easily. The difference in their magical energy is overwhelming. Right now, Sakura's magical energy is limitless. Her capacity is 100 million units. From the perspective of Rin's 300 units, Sakura is a monster with a bottomless reserve. She controls Saber, who boasts the highest magical energy among the servants, and can freely use the shadow. It isn't clear if even a servant could overcome this extraordinary mage.
魔術自体は単純だけど、とにかく量が違いすぎる。
Rin watches the transformed Sakura, her shoulders heaving with exertion. She has no chance of victory and no way out. It would be a different story if she had a power source on par with Sakura, the Holy Grail itself, but she doesn't.
と言っても、魔力の供給源としちゃ、この世界で聖杯と同レベルのものなんてないんだけど。
She sighs and drowns her anxiety with grumbling.
ダメですよ、姉さん。そんなところで立ち止まったら危ないじゃないですか。
Sakura doesn't hesitate to aim her palm at Rin. She has no mercy. Her lips curl into an arrogant sneer.
さあ、もっと遊びましょう、姉さん。最後には捕まってしまうでしょうけど、それまで可愛く逃げてくださいね。
She smiles at her beloved sister. Rin knows this will end the way Sakura says. There's no escaping that shadow. If Sakura felt like it, she could engulf the entire lot, not just the yard. Rin's completely helpless against Sakura, who expands the shadow little by little. The shadow wraps around Rin. The gel-like mud binds her body, squeezes her tight, and infiltrates her magic circuits like a blood-borne parasite.
なんだ、そこまでですか。 思っていたほど強くないんですね、姉さんは。
Sakura gleefully looks down at her captured sister. Her breathing is ragged and her cheeks are flushed. The sight of her sister smeared with thick oil excites Sakura, even though she's female.
さくら
The mud doesn't cover her face, as if to let Sakura enjoy her suffering. Rin glares at Sakura, enduring the humiliation. But it only lasts for a few seconds. The mud working its way through her body oozes its way into her organs.
それじゃあいただきますね。これ楽しみだったんです。魔術師から魔力を食べるのは初めてだから。
The gel-like shadows bind Rin tightly. The meal doesn't even have a last few seconds.
おいしい。満腹には程遠いけど少しは足しになりました、姉さん。
Rin's remaining magical energy disappears. It's over. Slumped over and struggling to breathe, Rin doesn't have the strength to resist. She has no way to resist, but
それだけじゃダメだ。ここで殺しておかないと。次は私が。
she'll lose to her sister again. She doesn't have anything to base this hunch on. Rin has no way of overcoming this power gap. But somehow, Sakura is sure that the next time they fight, Rin will kill her for sure. So she needs to finish her off here. It would be too easy to simply neutralize her by taking her energy. She needs to end her here because Rin Tosaka would do the same. That's what Sakura tells herself as she spreads her trembling hand.
姉さん、ここで。
The shadow doesn't spread. With shaking shoulders, she looks at her weakened sister and...
Sakura!
The last person she wanted to meet finally catches up to her. Clearly something's happening in the backyard. So much of the nauseating, spiteful vortex of energy is leaking out that I can't even touch it. You don't need to be a mage to know that something's wrong. I thought I was ready, but I'm dumbstruck by what I find. Tosaka's covered in the shadow that looks like coal tar. Ilya's watching from the edge of the yard, and Saber's standing in front of her. And in the very middle, Sakura has a hand thrust out at Tosaka.
Sakura!
I dash into the yard. I can't neglect any of them, but right now Tosaka's in the most danger. She looks deathly pale beneath the coal tar, and her life will be in danger unless she gets help right away. I lift her up, but she doesn't respond. I tear at the mud covering her, but despite being a liquid, the mud behaves like elastic rubber. I can't get a decent handhold on it, and it bounces back as soon as I tear it off. I can't tear the mud off no matter how hard I try. In the chaos and confusion, I keep trying to pull the mud off Tosaka. And then...
無駄ですよ、先輩。私の影は私しか解除できない。先輩。
Sakura.
Sakura speaks in a cold voice I don't know.
Sakura. その顔。
My scattered mind grinds to a halt. Sakura's neck. Something that looks like a tattoo is spreading over it. It doesn't look like it at all, but that's a command spell. Sakura's body is writhing with command spells I don't understand.
驚いたな。よっぽど急いできたんだ、先輩。けど、やっぱり慌ててるんですね。兄さんがどうなったのか見てきたのに、私を叱らないんだもの。
I mean, do you really need to be scolded for killing Shinji? It's like you just stepped on a bug. Who cares?
それはいい。 シンジのことは今は話さなくていい。さくらが落ち着いてからちゃんと話を聞く。
That's right. I need to talk to Sakura now. Zoken said all kinds of stuff, but he was lying. Sakura is still Sakura. So if we can just talk, she'll go back to...
いいえ、私はそんな話はしたくないし、先輩とも話したくない。喋るのは私だけでいいんです。先輩も姉さんも兄さんも町の人たちも、もう私に口を出すことなんてできないんだから。
My hair stands on end. This is worse than any chill. A sharp spike of extreme cold runs from my medulla down to the bottom of my spine, like a knife opening up my back.
それより先輩、なんで姉さんをかばうんですか？
For an instant, my vision goes blank. A shadow rises behind Sakura. The chill running down my back crystallizes into ice-cold terror, encasing my entire body. That's... Sakura. When people told me that she's the shadow, I was able to bear it. But I can't deny what I just saw. All it took was a touch to melt my left arm. That emotionless killing machine slaughtering people all over town was... Sakura. My throat feels tight. My eyeballs spasm and the world seems to warp and twist around me. Every cell in my body screams in warning, and I desperately try to snap myself out of my frozen terror. But I can't. Sakura's presence. It's no longer human. No longer Sakura. I haven't been swallowed by this titanic magical energy yet. There's only one reason I can't move. Sakura's boundless bloodlust is directed at me.
そう。いつもそうでした。私を守ってくれるって言ったのに、先輩は私だけを見てくれなかった。でもいいんです。そういう人だから私、先輩が欲しかった。
My vision warps. My mind is crumbling as I hear the words of this Sakura I don't know. It creaks in denial. It protests that this isn't Sakura. Forbidden thoughts bury themselves in my mind.
先輩、私といると苦しいでしょう。先輩にとって私がどれだけ重荷なのかよくわかっています。だから私、先輩の前から消えないといけなかった。
Shadows dance. The ground of the backyard reminds me of a shadow puppet stage.
けどできないんです。私にとって嬉しいことは先輩だけだから。それに先輩だって私からは離れられない。先輩はこれ以上自分を裏切ることができないから。だから殺してあげます。そうすればずっとそばにいてくれるし、何より先輩はもう苦しまなくていいでしょう。
The shadows reach for me. They swell into a wave bent on swallowing both me and Tosaka. In my battered mental state, I shove Tosaka away. The black wave descends on me. I don't even try to evade it. I was terrified. The mere instant I thought that this Sakura isn't Sakura anymore. The realization stopped me from moving my body. I know this. I've bathed in this darkness before. It'll shatter me. I couldn't withstand it for even 1 second last time. If it covers me while my mind is still blank, my mind will disappear before my body. My body withers. My body temperature drops to 0 in an instant. It's more suffocating and scary than I expected, so I move my body to try and get out. But I can't jump. There's no ground to push off of. I'm going to. Ryder. I come to my senses in the backyard. Purple hair fills my field of view.
ライダー、あなた。
これはあなたの命令です、さくら。何があってもエミやシローを守れと。
Ryder rescued me from the black wave.
動かないように。その体で立ち上がれば意識が途絶えます。
I'm not even thinking about that. On my hands and knees, the act of breathing threatens to knock me out.
さあ、私に逆らうのね、ライダー。なら、あなたも取り込みます。予定外のものを取ったから、これ以上サーバントはいらないのだけど、あなたは特別にセーバーと同じにしてあげる。
Shadows rise. Sakura shrouds the entire yard in darkness. She isn't holding back anymore after Ryder's betrayal. The area around us is already covered in black. Ryder makes no sign of running. She just watches the creeping shadows approach like a criminal awaiting execution.
そこまでよ。余計なことはしない方がいいわ、さくら。あなた、これ以上取り込むと戻れなくなるから。
エリア。
The shadow's encroachment pauses.
それはどういう意味ですか、イリアスフィール。言葉通りの意味よ。ライダーを取り込んでも、シローを殺しても、リンを再起不能にしても、今のサクラには意味がないってこと。時間の無駄だし、八つ当たりはそのあたりにしておいたら。
What is she doing? Ilya's walking towards Sakura.
サクラは私が目的なんでしょ。なら早く済ませましょう。おとなしく一緒に行ってあげるから。
Ilya.
あんなの放っておきなさい。正気ですか。私が欲しいのはあなたの心臓だけ。私と来るということは、そんなの分かってるわ。けどどっちにしたって殺されるんだし、抵抗しても無駄でしょ。とりあえず今はサクラが一番強いんだし。
Ilya's calm. It's vexing. I muster my body and every shred of my frayed mind to try to understand what Ilya's saying, but I can't.
じゃあ自ら生贄になるというの、イリアスフィール。ええ、それが私の役割だもの。けど清掃はここにはないの。さくらが後継者として門を開きたいなら、私の城まで取りに行かないと。それにさくらは決着をつけることにしたんでしょ。ならシロを殺す必要はないじゃない。誰も殺したくないから受け入れたのに、今はもうみんなを殺したくて仕方がないなんて矛盾してるわよ、さくら。
The shadows recede. Even the mud covering Tosaka fades away as if it was never there.
いいでしょう。自分で探す手間が省けますから。どんな思惑かは知らないけど、あなたの口車に乗ってあげます。
Ilya. Her long hair sways. Sakura turns her back on us as if she's completely lost interest in me and Ryder. She starts to leave.
さくら。
Still on my knees, I call out to her.
もう 私の前に来ないでください。先輩を前にしたら私先輩を殺すしかない。
Sakura grows distant. I can't follow her or call out to her.
さくらの言う通りよ。シローの出番はこれで終わり。後の始末は私の役目だもん。さくらは私が連れて行くから、シローはもう休んでいいよ。
I can't even help Ilya.
じゃあね。今まで楽しかったよ、お兄ちゃん。
I hear her bid me a sad farewell. Finally, I unfreeze. My uncontrollable shaking in the front of the shadow, and my guilt for thinking Sakura was someone else finally stop. It's infuriating. I was so pathetic that I couldn't even take Sakura's hand. And that's not all. At the very end, I let Ilya make such a face when she called me her big brother. I run. I chase after them with reckless abandon, pushing through the nausea, the chill, and my soup-like brain.
追うな。それ以上進めば殺す。
A black-armored servant stands in my way. She's been silent this entire time, and now she overwhelms me with her grim presence, sword pointed at me.
どいてくれ、セイバー。あのまま二人を行かせるわけにはいかない。
それはこちらのセリフだ。このままあなたに追わせることはできない。それに仮に私が退いたところで今のあなたに何ができる。これは最後の忠告だ。どのような形であろうとさくらは聖杯を手に入れる。それだけがさくらを解放する手段だ。その結果が彼女の死であったとしても、それで的さくらは救われる。さくらを助けたいのなら手を引け。だがそれでも追ってくるというのなら、その時こそその首を叩き落とす。
The dark saber disappears. Sakura and Ilya are gone. They vanish from sight as if sinking into her shadow. I run out of the will to move my body. My arms and legs go limp like a puppet with its strings cut. I can't stay conscious. Is it just my vision that's going dark? The sight of Sakura being swallowed by the shadow is burned into my mind like an indictment. Ooh, ends there, huh? Alright then. I guess we'll end things off here for today, and, I really don't know where it fucking goes from here, but I guess we'll find out in the next one. So I'll see you all then. Bye.